Welcome back to our Clarets Walk. Hope you're doing well as to be expected anyway. Dan and Connor are fresh back from watching Burnley 2, Fulham 3, and lots of fans are now saying the same thing. Rob says here, we've sacked Dyche for less, so surely now it is inevitable. This week we're talking about penalty takers, who's the best one you've ever seen for Burnley. We're talking about the FA Cup draw, how pleased or not were we with it, and we're up to the letter J in our A to Z. All that to come, but of course first, we're looking at all the social media takes, good and bad, from that game at the weekend. Last week, Jordan, who's ill tonight, so get well soon, Jordan, of course. Jordan said, Dan, that he was very firmly in the camp of Parker out, and he got quite pillarised in some of the comments by some people saying he didn't know what he was talking about and all of this. Are you ready to join him?
Yeah, I am now. I said last week I'd give him the Fulham game. And I said anything less than a win wouldn't be acceptable. And when you watch that absolute shower that went on yesterday, you can't excuse it. You know, there's so many people willing and ready to make excuses for him. We've lost 7 straight games, lost 7. We're now losing games at home against teams that we really should be targeting. Fulham aren't in a great run of form. They've only won 1 away from home. They are, the games we've lost at home, you say, well, Liverpool, they were defending champs. It was early in the season. You think, all right, then. Forest, they were, new manager. We've got a draw against them. Chelsea, you think, oh, fair enough. They're up in the top however long. These games aren't going to define our season. This game defines our season. This is a game that we should be winning, or at least focusing to try and target to win. It was so lackluster. There was no invention. Yeah, we scored 2 goals. We actually scored one of the better goals of the 5 that were scored. Ogachukru's first one. But the defending was woeful. They score a corner from a guy who just knocks it past the guy at the first post, gets nowhere near it. Another one, there's a guy 3 yards out, nods it in, not being marked, not being challenged. And then the third one was just, last year against Leeds, someone put a picture on WhatsApp, on X, of when a Leeds player broke and all of a sudden 7 Burnley players were on him. And then yesterday, Fulham broke, and I know Jamie Carragher highlighted it in the Sky Sports. He's just jogging, not bothered, not. And then Parker comes out and says, it breaks my heart. Well, I tell you what breaks our heart, pal, spending 40 quid a week, going on, watching people who are multimillionaires not give a damn. That's what frustrates us. That's what breaks our hearts. Yes, we sang your name on the town hall steps. Yes, we sang everything when things were going well. But now you've lost it. We've lost 7 in a row. We're going down. What do you want us to do? Sit there and say, well played, boys, you've tried. Yeah, rubbish. Get rid.
Yeah, Quinn says, enough is enough. Parker should be ashamed. It's our worst start to a top-flight campaign in 130 years. Parker has to go. The squad has quality. It's just not being used. Connor, last week you were like Dan. Where are you now?
I have to agree. I think last night was my last straw. Listen, I love Scott Parker a lot. I think he's a great bloke, and I'll always cherish last season forever. But I just think he's out of his depth. These players aren't trying, and that's basically what Dan was saying. It's what frustrates me the most. It's if we fought for every ball, tried our hardest, and we just weren't good enough on the night, then it's all right. But there was no effort, no ounce of effort. I can only name 3 players that actually gave any sort of effort last night, and it was atrocious. And I'm disappointed. And yeah, there's only so many weeks we can talk about fine margins, and we're coming. There's a big moment around the corner. But when's this big moment actually going to come? Because, it can't go on for ages. Season ends in, July? Something? I don't know. We're in a mess and he needs to go.
Which 3 would you give? I gave Ekdal a pass. I thought he played all right. Who else did you give?
Josh Cullen.
All right. And who else?
Brun Larson.
I can see your point about Cullen. I gave Ekdal a pass. I thought he didn't do an awful lot wrong. And I thought Brun Larson, I didn't really rate him. I just thought he tried. Well, that's the only thing you can say. So I suppose to an extent, he did try. That was it.
Anyway. You say Ekdal, but did you their first? What was it? Their first goal. Did you match of the day pointed out brilliantly? Alan Shearer. I mean, Ekdal's meant to be the one Mark and Smith wrote, and he's just let him walk on by, and he's there for the tap. And yes, there was more people to blame, but I think Ekdal was shaky, but I don't know.
I don't think we can really go through them all and say that they all showered themselves in glory. I just thought that Ekdal had more positives than negatives. I thought he tried to bring a bit of endeavour from him. He broke up a lot of their play. He tried to start something. He even took a couple of men on, which is more than what Edwards is when he come on.
Yeah.
So I think you're right that we are scratching our heads to find 2 or 3 players who deserve a bit of praise.
Absolutely.
Question for you both here from Steve. Obviously, ignore his surname. Most of the comments are about Parker. But we scored 2 goals, and that should have been enough to win the game. It's the recruitment that's gone wrong for me. 3 defenders today who are not Premier League standard. Hartman has lost interest. Ekdal, as you already mentioned, and Tuanzebe are poor. I mean, that Hartman effort for the first goal it's comical. Has this poster got a point, Connor, that we should not just be looking at Parker here, we should be looking at what tools he was given to work with?
It confuses me. I'm very 50-50 because we all came off the back of this was the best window we've had since 1864, whatever. It's confusing because you look at the signing Dash made. You know, I mean Phil Bardsley for one. All these players, Stephen Ward, never as good as the players we've got now, but they certainly cared a lot more, and that evidently showed. I mean, how many years did we have in the Premier League? It's all good signing these players based off stats and how good they are. You know, Hartman was Dutch international, was tearing it up in Netherlands, but that's all well and good. But if you don't care to be here, what's the point of having him?
Dan, do the recruitment team need more scrutiny?
Well, no, I don't know is the honest answer, because everyone keeps going on saying we've messed up this transfer window. People, when we were signing these players, said it was a brilliant recruitment. Now they're saying we've not recruited well enough, or we should look at Sunderland, and they've recruited well. They've got it right. You look at that, aside from Granit Xhaka, who they have, I can't really say that any other player for them, I could barely name. I only know Lefebvre because he was a big marquee signing last year. But aside from those 2, I can't name a Sunderland player. And everyone's saying Sunderland have done great recruitment. They've brought in all these players. You look at those 3, that guy named Ekdal, Swedish international. You've got Hartman, Dutch international. Tuanzebe, forgive me if I get this wrong, but I think he's Congo international. He's going to certainly, so we've got 3 international signed players who've come in. We've had Kyle Walker come in, who's won a Premier League. Yeah, he's not what he was, but he's still, what quality are we missing here? Is it the players? Is it the recruitment? Or is it that the manager can't get a tune out of him? He had Foster on the wing yesterday. I know Foster's played that role before, but surely Foster's a striker. He has Son, who's a natural right back, on the bench. Danish international, I think. I don't know if he's played international level. I may be wrong on that, but certainly. And then he plays Tuanzebe at right back, who I believe is a natural centre half. He's putting square pegs into round holes. So we might look at the recruitment, but when all these announcement videos were coming out, what another belting signing, Florentino, what a belting signing. Now all of a sudden it's the recruitment that's wrong, and it's not Parker. I'm not buying into it. People will disagree. People will say, no, these are crap signings, these are crap players. I don't see it because I've seen quality in there and I've seen them play well. But whatever reason, he's not getting them firing on all cylinders. And I think for me, it's not the recruitment. I have issues with the board for different reasons. But for as far as the on the pitch goes, and also I don't know how much Parker was involved in that recruitment. Some people better in the know than me will know, but I just don't think it's the recruitment. I think it has to be the manager. The buck stops with him.
Don't sack him before we come and play, will you? Sack him after. Sorry, we've done that one. What about this one? So, I mean, you can't blame the squad. We've got good players, but a manager isn't using to full potential. Trezor playing defensive midfielder, for instance. Yeah, I mean, Trezor's getting a lot of headlines, Connor, in relation to kind of some fans saying, look, why are we pinning all our hopes on a guy who evidently had issues with playing for us last season?
You look at the track record he had when he came to us. I don't think he was given a fair shot in the first place under company, but we won't go there. Not many people did. But he came in as this assist king, most assists in was it 24 assists he got in one season for Genk? It was ridiculous. He has got. I firmly believe he's got the quality. If you play him in the right position, not centre half. If you play him in the right position, in the number 10 or on the wing, I do think he can be a game changer. Because how much communication did he do coming off the bench for 5 minutes? I thought he did more talking than anyone else did. I, I don't. I don't know. There's more to the situation than just not him playing. It's got to be more to the situation because it just seems to be everything's wrong. I don't. It's so confusing. I can't put it into words. It's club's a mess.
Let's focus on one positive, though, shall we? Kind of says, swallows your gum, Scott Parker, the kid you left out of the squad, scores a goal. And eats your words. Always let Son play. Yeah, I was quite impressed with him. Were you not?
Oh, is it me?
I haven't seen enough of him. He hasn't played an awful lot. He doesn't seem to get the starts. He took his goal remarkably well. He chests it down and he passes it into the net. But he's a right back, as far as I understand. So what he's doing up there, who does he think he is? Connor Roberts. It's just unbelievable. The other Connor Roberts. But yeah, I said, if you're going to play a player out of position in favour of him, then either the manager is wrong or the player's not up to it. So you've got to wonder, why does he not trust him for 90 minutes, but he does for 20? And then when he does come on, he scores. So, is he a better player than what we had on that pitch? I don't know. I haven't seen enough of the guy. He hasn't really been given the opportunity. But he certainly took his chance when he came on, and kind of again adds to the pressure of Parker to say, why are you not starting
him? The league itself, then, Connor. You look at Forest, Leeds, West Ham, the teams that are around you, Brentford and Fulham. Now you've had a chance to play nearly all of them. Can you survive?
No. Honest answer is no. I think they all just want it more than we do, and it seems like we're all going to be preparing for the Championship already. So I prefer the Championship anyways. It's not a big deal.
No big deal. But it can't be enjoyable being a yo-yo side like this, can it? I mean, you get yourself up, you take yourself down again. I mean, where's it end?
No, it's not enjoyable. The Championship seasons are almost. It's more fun to go on, but what's the ambition of the club? And that's what I don't know, and that's what I want to know, and that's what it'd be great to hear. Are the ambitions of the club, and we touched upon this last week, is it just to make as much money as you can for a firm that's come in to try and take over and be a profitable business and have sustainable football where we'll have a good season followed by a bad season, by a good season and what have you, and we can do it on a budget? Or is it to become an established Premier League team? To push for the title, that sounds fanciful. I get that. But what is the ambition? The ultimate goal has to be to try and establish in the Premier League, become mid-table, become European contenders. And you say that's far-fetched, but we did it under Dyche on much less money. And then you build it. And ultimately, I know it's a pipe dream, and it is for many clubs to try and challenge for the title. We're never going to get there, certainly not in my lifetime, maybe in Connor's, but maybe not in mine. Or is the ambition, it's just not there? And if we want to show that ambition today, he has to go. They have to do something. They have to get rid of Scott Parker and say, let's try and stay in this division. Because, yeah, we can go down. We might crush the Championship, and then we'll be back up and we have a month's worth of everything brilliant. And then when we come back, we have a month's worth of this. So I personally am fed up of this losing mentality. Our fans accepting mediocrity, and I don't mean that with any disrespect, Con. I know you just said you enjoyed the Championship, but people who are saying I'd rather go down, I'd rather play lesser level and be better in a smaller pool. I don't want to do that. I like being in the Premier League. I like seeing these stars come. I like turning them over and getting them humbled. And I want to try and push us to the top level, but we're not going to get it. And we're not going to get it under him.
Yeah, I mean, Ipswich go to Stoke City away on over Christmas. That would be what you'd be doing, wouldn't it? Those kind of fixtures. I'm not sure this is as enjoyable as Bournemouth away, which will be this weekend. Who knows? Before we carry on, just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who comments on the videos, good and bad, and we've had quite a few shouting out When people don't agree with us, that's fine as well. We love that. Thank you to Slater and Tony Inozos. Tony Inozos has commented a lot. Save his job, Parker with the main one cutters. Jamie Brown comments a lot as well. We mentioned Scott Twine's last minute free quick against West Brom last week has to be up there with the best ever last minute winners. And we're trying to get to 500. It'd be amazing if we can get there for Christmas. So I think we're like 19 or something away from it. So please help us out if you haven't yet already subbed. That would be absolute quality. Right then, FA Cup draw was made since we last saw you as well, Connor. Your reaction to it?
Meh. It's dull. I mean, I either want I just want a lower league team, just have a good away day, but Millwall at home, that is the most boring draw ever. You still know I'll be there, but that is bad. That's bad.
Yeah. Dan, could it have gone any worse?
It could have been Millwall away. That's the only way it could have gone worse. I think the only, like we say, it'll be a practice game. He'll put out his second string and see if he can turn out all the Millwall. The only upside is I know Millwall got beat 3-1 at the weekend by Hull at home, but they're about third or fourth in the Championship. And it may well be that they want to rest their players too because they don't want to risk ruining a promotion push themselves. So we're going to have 2 second string teams out. And I would like to think our second string's better than theirs. So it'd be a good workout for us and hopefully we'll get through. And then we can, see how far we get in it. But I think the priority at the minute has shifted, certainly given this last few games. But as far, it's the most, like Connor says, the most uninteresting draw around. It won't be on BBC.
No, it definitely won't be. Yeah, Millwall fans were saying, it's going to be a Zion Fleming last-minute winner, isn't it? It's all set up for them. Brill. Loads of penalties being given in the Premier League at the moment and being saved as well and missed. It's got us thinking, if there was a 90th-minute penalty that you could award to any Burnley player, past or present, that you'd be putting your mortgage on scoring, who would that be? Let us know in the comments. Please read some of these out. Dan, who would yours be number one go-to be?
Connor, you agree with this one, don't you?
Well, you need to say it first. Go on.
Graham Alexander.
Yeah, there we go. Take that off my list. Granted,
it can't be anybody else. I don't think if he missed one for us, it was as many as he did. He straight run up and he just blasts it. I think I forget his stats. Someone will correct me in the comments. I think he's something like he had 70 odd, and he missed 3 or 4 in his career. Best one he's taken by Burnley player by a mile.
Yeah, agree, Connor.
Yeah, I agree. That's it.
Short and sweet. Right, letter J then. We're up to finally this week then in our A to Z. Should be a good few here, better than I last week, of course. Connor, what have you got for this entry?
I mean, I was going to say Brian Jensen, but we picked the Beast back at B, so I don't think we can do that again. I'm going to go for David Jones, and that's the most interesting player I can give you. He was a good player, but I cannot think of anything. I asked ChatGPT and it said joy at Wembley in 2009. If we're gonna go like that, we'll do that. But David Jones is a sensible option.
Okay. David Jones, he's he's one of them down road and all. You know that, Connor. I was kind of sticking and flitting in around Brian Jensen, his beast, but we had him as a B. There's a guy, he's an older head, and both of my 2 are old heads, so you might not want to go for either of them. One of them, he was known as the Welsh Wizard, Leighton James. He's going back to the 70s. Was a good player for us. And then the only other one, it was a double J, was a guy called Joe Jacob. Now we're in the 4th division, we're in mid-90s. We're a left back and he had a belting tash. But we are kind of struggling when it comes to J's, and I've had a really good think about it too. We do have a J Rodriguez, if we could, and he is one of our own. So whether we could bend the rules at this stage, I don't know. And we have a James Hargreaves stand, but that is a window glazes or something like that. So I think we're struggling. I don't know if you can put Beast in twice and we'll swap the B for someone else.
We might have to. Yeah, we might have to here. Yeah, swap the B for somebody.
It'd be interesting to see what other people can come up with, because I know Colin and I have gone through it. Well, maybe we can confirm this next week as to who Jay should be.
Okay, we'll get
Yeah.
back to Jay next week once we've read some comments. Let us help us out, please. Surname only, of course, as well, which makes it why they're struggling a bit. Elder K next week, of course, as well. Maybe Vincent might show his head next week's discussion. Who knows? Right.
Oh, no. I've got a J. He's just come to me.
All hands on deck. Go on.
All hands on deck. Just come to me. And I think he's got to be in the conversation purely because of his cult status, not because of what he did. Nothing drastic, but we even made a song about him. We've got Super Michael Jackson.
Oh,
He's the reserve coach or the second in command. So he's one to put in the conversation.
Brilliant. Right. Can we beat that in the comments, please? Help. Desperately need it. All right. Thank you very much for watching this week. Thank you again for all your comments and all your likes and subscribes. We massively appreciate it. Love making this content for you. So hopefully Jordan will be back with us next week after his man flu is all over. And good luck against Bournemouth for those of you travelling down for that game. Another one of Scott Parker's old teams. We'll see you back here next week as we preview the home game against Everton next week. Join us for that. Thank you very much. Have a good one.